Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Friday morning. Look at that, Mr. Darby. How are you, my friend? So, I am getting ready to kick up some live. Oh, I didn't even turn on my backlights today. That's all right. I'm getting ready to kick up some live cold calls and have a little fun, calling on some people. So, if like Mr. Liam, has put a comment on there, tell me where you're at, who's watching, and I am going to, or if you got a city you want me to call on. Good morning, Chris. How are you, my friend? Good to see you, brother. So if you guys got a city you want me to cold call, just drop that in the chat, and I'm happy to cold call that particular city. Good morning, Lisa. How are you, my dear? If nobody gives me a city, I will just pick one in an area that we're growing in. And I'm going to be cold calling coaches and consultants to talk specifically about looking at one of our networking groups. So that's who I'm cold calling this morning. So give it a second, see if anybody drops a C. How are the goats? Are freaking awesome. Thanks, Liam. They're good, man. They're ornery as hell as always. They were a little bitchy this morning as I got out there to feed them. They thought I should have been out there just a little bit earlier to feed them this morning. New York. All right. So let's do New York. Let's do New York Chamber of Commerce. So if you haven't seen me do this before, I typically just go to a Chamber of Commerce website because they almost always have a business directory in there. Um, and good morning, Brenda. And so just by going to the chamber, I can quickly get a list. So right now, I just typed in the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. It says 212 chamber. I don't know what that means. And I'm going to, Casey, what's up, brother? I'm going to type in consultants. And this should be a huge chamber. So I typed in consultant into the search box, and then a lot of times I will, it'll give me usually the name of the company and a person to, glad to hear you, James Connection. Looking forward to seeing. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. 212 is a New York City area code. All right, cool. So good to see you this morning, Rick. But what I love about chamber websites is it's an easy call list because they'll typically give you a company name and they'll give you like the person's name that's a part of the chamber. So you can get a really easy call list. So let's get this party started because you don't want to sit here and listen to me talk. So and I'll try and do this without giving my information away too much, but who gives a shit? Let's give it hell.
You have reached the voicemail box of consultant. To leave a message, wait for the tone. If you want to leave your number only, press 1. Enter the number where you'd like to be called back. When you finish, I've transmitted your number. See you next time.
Cool. I've never had that happen before where they tell you to put in just your number, because usually if I leave a voice message, it's usually just, hey, it's Donnie. I'll leave my cell phone number and then I get off the call, because when you leave voice messages, there's no point of telling anything else that. Yeah, that is freaking cool, Rick. I've never seen that before, but it really makes it easy for me to drop some information there. So I just wonder if they you'll have something where they do the research before they call back. So it'll be interesting to see if they call me back. I do often get a lot of calls back. I have a crazy some of the things I get from these.
Hello, it's Dan.
Hey, Dan, Donnie Boivin.
Hey, Donnie, how you doing?
Good, good. Does my name sound familiar at all?
I have an uncle named Donnie.
All right, fair enough. Well, then this makes this a cold call, man. Is it okay if I tell you what I do, or do you want to go ahead and hang up?
You can tell me what you do, and I'll know in 30 seconds whether it's of any interest, so I won't waste any of your time.
Perfect, perfect. So I run a networking organization, and we're opening up in the New York area. I'm in Texas, so not selling anything. We're just introducing ourselves to local coaches, consultants, and the likes. We changed how networking is traditionally done. It's all virtual. It's primarily B2B focused. We have access to all of our members from around the world as we continue to grow. Lots of training, lots of doors opening. We don't focus on referrals. It's all about introductions and getting you introduced to the people that can help you build your business. Is that of all of any interest to you?
Probably not, because I have all the elements I need to build a business, but and I don't know your target audience, because I've been to networking events before. We're a pretty niche company.
Cool.
We offer cybersecurity to large businesses.
Yeah. So
you know, if it's like going to be a lady making brownies and
no, we don't.
That's not going to be our thing.
For sure, we don't even allow MLMs or network marketing into our organization whatsoever. So it is. So think of HR consultants. Think of we have a couple of security companies that are in different chapters around the world. Think of background drug screening companies and a lot of service-based consultants. So
okay, yeah, I mean, if it's free, there's no harm, no foul. You know, if it's every week, I might not be able to get every session in.
Cool.
You know, I don't like BNI. I hate that format. So if it's virtual, then I'm pretty cool with it. You know, and if you have any opportunities for me to give webinars, then that would be very interesting for me as well.
Yeah, for sure. So we actually have a whole thing where we have approved speakers that do go around and train and teach at our different chapters if those chapters invite them in. So we run 4 different meeting styles. One of them happens to be where they bring in an approved internal speaker. So there's somebody who's a member of Success Champion Networking, and if the chapter invites you in, then you get a chance to do a presentation at their chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So, is your email dan@minerpc.com?
Yeah. So how are you guys making money?
So, we invite everybody to come check out the groups for absolutely free. And for me, I'm just a fuck yes or a fuck no type of guy. So if you like what we're doing, the membership's $47 a month, and it's month to month. So, that's how we grow. We do have 2 other companies that we run as well. I run the Badass Business Summit and Champions Table Mastermind, but the primary focus is I just want to continue to teach all the crap nobody taught me as I was building a business. So that's my biggest focus. And networking hasn't evolved since the 1980s, and so we are currently the fastest growing organization on the planet, and I'm just having fun pissing some people off and changing how the world networks.
Right. And so what's the average size business that people
have
when they join this?
We get the small micros. So I'll get anywhere from the 100,000 to 500,000 range, and then we do have
a what do you mean as far as salary goes?
No, in revenue.
So they do like 100,000 a month?
No, year, micro. And then we got even some that are bigger than that, but yeah, we're focused on the micro business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to check one out, but it's honestly, I'm probably looking at companies that bring in at least $5 million a year.
Well, and just so you know where we're coming from, where our people are not the prospect list. So in my world is you get to know people, so they'll open doors for you, you will open doors for them. Because I just believe the fastest way to grow a business is by introducing people to who they need to get to. So when people wrap their head around it, and if somebody looks at networking as those people are my prospects, it's never going to be a good fit.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So it is sort of like BNI, where it's a referral-based networking group.
Introduction-based. I don't give a shit about referrals. Biggest difference is very rarely am I going to see your exact perfect client, but you're going to have a ton of people. Like if you tell me that you get me to an HR consultant or something like that, and their clientele could be your clientele, dude, I can make those introductions all day long.
Yeah, I mean, I'll check one up. It's no problem.
Okay.
Send it to, the invites dan@myfpc.com. You're very, very good on the phone.
Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate that. And if you want to know the full truth, I'm actually live right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube doing these. I teach these.
Cool.
So if you literally were to go to LinkedIn and see me on my profile, there's a ton of people actually watch me doing this live.
Interesting.
So I just don't want to teach you anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's cool. Well, no, you're phenomenal. So
thanks, dude.
That's cool.
I will shoot you over
send me an invite. I'm happy to check out one.
Cool.
We'll see. I mean.
And if it's not a fit, dude, no harm, no foul on my end. I mean.
I offer super high-end cybersecurity solutions to businesses. You know what I mean?
Right. So like the COO of my company. He does sales automations for multi-million-dollar corporations.
Yeah.
Right. So if you come at it from the perspective of how do I meet the right people that can open the right doors?
Yeah.
Then good shit will happen.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Okay, cool, man.
I got a meeting I'm in, so if you want to shoot me an email, that's cool.
I'll do it. And I'll send you a LinkedIn request too, if that's all right.
That's perfect.
All right, dude. Bye-bye. Thanks, Dan. Later. How cool is that, right? Just go have freaking real conversations with people, man, and they'll show up. I even told them I was doing it live, and so everybody could see it. Good morning, Russ. And dude, just be a damn human, and people will talk to you. I got to make sure I save his contact information, so I can legitimately send him some email stuff. But dude, literally at the end of the day, you just gotta be a human. It's when you become a salesperson and you try and sell shit that things go south. And it's like people will come at me from time to time. They're like, you cuss too much and all that, dude. Just be your damn self. Talk like you talk, and the people that get it will lean in. The people that don't, they won't, right? It's pretty damn simple. So hold on while I copy and paste his information over here, and then I'll do another one. And if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to ask any questions as well. A lot of technology companies. I do have a rule that when I do these, if I can't pronounce their name, I'm not calling them. Because good morning, Roderick. Trying to if I can't pronounce it, I'm just not going to fumble that ball. So here we go.
This is Amanda at 718-208-3914. You as soon as I can. Take care. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5. Enter the phone number To end, press pound. To cancel. Number 8.
Oh, I love this whole you can just leave a number thing. I'm just really curious if they call me back.
If the number is correct, press 1. To re-enter, thank you. Your message has been sent.
Cool. I'll leave a number like that any chance I get. That's pretty cool. All right, so I wore out that particular list. We're typing in coach, and the reason I call a lot of coaches and consultants is because they're usually around to answer their phones, and so you guys actually get to hear the conversation. It's not all I call. I love the name of this company, and I really fucking hope she answers. Because she does, I feel like this will be a fun conversation. And good morning, Denise. If I didn't say good morning.
Thank you for calling. If you would like to speak with a representative, please press 1.
That's interesting.
One moment, please. Good morning. Thank you for calling. How may I help you?
Yeah, is Bella running around?
I'm sorry?
Bella?
Miss Bella's not available at the moment, but I can take a message for a return call.
Oh, do you know what would be a good time for me to call her back?
I don't have the best time when she would be available, but the office is open till 5 p.m.
So it's open till 5. All right. Well, bummer. Does she ever answer the phone herself, or are you a screening company for her?
So I'm with her answering service, and the line is busy before her message, and she calls you back.
Got it. All right, I'll call her back later. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too. Yeah, that was a screening call company. Those are the hardest ones to cold call because, morning, Miss Cassie, when you call in, they don't know anything about the company. You can't hardly get any information out of them. It's unfortunate that kind of stuff happens because they're just almost impossible to call into.
Hi, you've reached Cheryl Grossman and Blue Diamond HR. Detailed message with your name, number, and the time of your call, and I'll return your call as soon as possible. Have a great day. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Shell, Donnie Boivin, 817-709-3886. Dun, dun, dun. And I always just leave the least amount of information as I can on those voicemails because the goal is to just get a call back. And that's what I always hope to do. Oops, can't type today. Whoa, that was weird. Oh, I dialed the wrong number. Dun, dun, dun.
You have reached 646-620. Thanks, I'll call you back as soon as I can. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Lynn, Donnie, it's 817-709-3886. Dun, dun, dun. Cool. Love the name of this company. Hope she answers. Gonna get a voicemail.
You have reached Covenant Sub Incorporated. Please leave your name and number and a brief message, and someone will return your call shortly. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Pat, Donnie, 817-709-3886. Check out Sly Broadcast. Send out a ton of voicemails. I use it quite a bit. Yeah, so for me, I enjoy this process. So I'm not trying to just hammer a bunch of voicemails out there. I want the whole process. One, and I understand why you do it, so I'm not knocking it. I want to continue the habit of doing this over and over and over again because it keeps me sharp on my toes and it teaches. So I've used similar systems like that in the past, and they are awesome if you really need to get a ton of messages and numbers out there. This should be a fun one if they answer. I used an auto dialer for one upon a time. Those are cool too.
Hi, you've reached Alex. I'm not available to take your call right now. If you leave your name and number, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Alex, Donnie, 817-709-3886. Trying to make a change in turn to sell uniforms I design. I need to figure out how to find the right people to call. That's my hard part right now. So on that, Andrew, who buys uniforms? Are they like sports uniforms or what are they? So tell me specifically who would buy what you're selling. I can't pronounce that name. When you say leagues okay, so it is sports. Every one of those is going to have a buyer in there. Adults, youth, whatever. Okay. Hold on one second, Andrew.
Thank you for calling the Generational Wealth Phone brand and the home of RIA NYC. Our office is currently closed. Our operating hours are 8 a.m. to...
Whatever. So for a lot of that, dude, I wouldn't worry about picking up the phone so much. I would get to so if you think like minor league teams or things like that, you could call them or, okay, so you've reached out to 30 leagues yesterday. So just so you guys can see what I'm talking about, that's who he's calling on. Cassie asked schools. So schools potentially, even in so yeah, get outside the box besides just the leagues and just that, call the schools. They're going to have a buyer. Call, the mom and pops. I love that you love this part of the sales process. I don't want to say I love it, Denise. I will say that I love teaching. So doing this is a teaching thing for me. And good morning, Michelle. And so as long as I'm teaching, things come a lot easier to me. So and that may be something y'all try if you're trying to do cold calls, is to think about it, how could I do this and I'm teaching it to somebody else? but that's what helps me continue to be able to do this kind of stuff. And that's how it got me to be able to do it in front of rooms when I was doing cold calls in front of rooms. It's all I get to teach this stuff. So, and so Andrew, back to that is call and be curious. So when you're not sure who you're supposed to be talking to in a business, get curious. And if I were to call a bigger company right now, it would sound like, hey, I am unsure who I should actually be talking to, so I'm hoping you can point me in the right direction. And you will find that oftentimes, if you come from that perspective, people will help you out. The only time people are traditionally rude to you is if they have been told to completely screen people out, or you come across as a salesperson. Oh, this next one I should totally call because I actually know the guy. I wonder if he'll answer his phone though. Not this one, the next one. The next one I'm going to call.
Hi, how may I help you?
Yeah, is Angelica there?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me transfer you right over.
Thank you. Cool. Past the gatekeeper.
Hello?
Yeah, is this Angela?
Yes?
Donnie Boivin. My
Who's
name,
this?
Donnie Boivin. My
For
name,
what?
my name's not ringing a bell at all.
No.
Oh crap! Sorry, that makes this a cold call then. Okay, if I tell you, oh, she hung up on me. She just said, "Fuck it, I'm out." Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna do this next call. And I actually know this guy, so I'm curious if he picks up, two, and how he responds when I tell him what I'm doing. So I'm still calling in New York, but I've actually talked to this guy on Zoom before, so hopefully he answers to be funny. Morning, Richard.
Good morning, this is Jeff.
Jeff, Donnie Boivin.
Donnie, the man, the legend. How are you, pal?
Dude, I am seriously making live cold calls on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube right now. And I just went to the New York 212 Chamber of Commerce and put in coach. And I was going through the list and your name popped up. So I'm literally live on LinkedIn and everything doing these cold calls. I'm like, dude, I'm going to call him to see what he does.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, what do you want to sell me, pal?
$1 million. I mean, rum, anything you got. No, I'm actually out promoting the networking groups. So,
well, let me just say that I've attended one of look, I'm a tiny little competitor to Donnie in some ways, but I've attended his networking groups and they are fantastic.
Oh, thanks,
Donnie
dude.
and his facilitators run a great group. I've been a member of a network group for almost 18 years. 40% of my income comes from being a member of that group, and I'd advise anybody who's listening, whether it's Donnie's or anybody else's, get your ass into a networking group that serves you, and Donnie's is one of the best.
You're awesome, brother. I appreciate that. And I'll send that $20 over to you. Well, I'm gonna keep grinding, my friend.
How are the goats and the dogs?
Oh, they're freaking amazing. Dogs are home, so that's a good thing. And Jeff, so Richard McCann on LinkedIn said, "Be honest, Jeff is your brother." No, he's not. He does have a great Facebook group. So if you're on Facebook, friggin' make sure you check out, what's the name of your Facebook group, Jeff?
It's the Sales Pro Network, and every Friday morning, in 30 minutes from now, every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, I do a live interview with somebody who can add value to professional sales. Donnie's been my guest, I think, twice, and really brought it. Today we were talking to Ali Mirza, who is the CEO of Rose Garden Consulting. This guy was named one of the top 10 sales leaders in America by Business Insider. So in 30 minutes, I'm going to be talking to him about how you can increase your sales.
That's awesome, brother. Well, I'm going to bounce and continue to do some more dials for these guys, man, but you keep rocking, my friend.
You too, Marine. Go make it happen.
All right, brother.
Thanks
Later.
Bye now.
Hey, Richard, I absolutely love telling them it's a cold call. Since you asked that, because it's truthful, it's very real. and it gives them the option to go ahead and hang up on me, which I'm okay with, right? I'm not going to win every call. I'm not going to make it through to every call. So the mere fact that, I put it out there immediately so they can freaking self-qualify themselves. I think it's funny when people hang up on me. They don't know what they're missing out on by not having the conversation. So, um, you know, who knows? Maybe they're having a shitty day too. So, yeah. Set up a voicemail, people. Really hard to call people if there's no voicemail.
Hello, this is Nancy Jacoby. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message. Thank you.
Hey, Nancy, Donnie Boivin, 817-709-3886. Richard, I appreciate that, my friend. For me, it's a complete pattern interrupt. Usually when I'm calling somebody, they're in the middle of something. I'm literally interrupting their day, and so they're liable to be on their computer, staring at the screen, doing something. All I'm trying to do is get their attention on me, and I say that in hopes that I have a podcast, YouTube channel. I speak on stages and stuff. So I've done this before where people have heard of me, and so it's a humbling reminder that I haven't gone big enough when I ask people, because I would hope that I'm doing enough to get my name out there louder and louder.
Hello?
Is this Merrill?
Who's that, sir?
Is this Merrill?
Can I help you?
Yes.
No, you've got the wrong number. You got the wrong number, my friend. Sorry.
All right, thanks, bud. Well, then somebody needs to update their stuff on the chamber website. Put that over. It's a lot of fun, man. For me, I just want people to not beat themselves up so much when they're doing these type of things.
Hello.
Is this Kathleen?
You have to speak up. I'm driving.
Hey, Kathleen, it's Donnie Boivin.
Why don't you call me in an hour? I can't hear you.
Okay, I'll call you.
Very noisy.
Cool, I'll call you in an hour. Maybe you should get a better phone system. Do you send invites to the expert to the networking group via email? We have, yes, but I prefer Cassie people to go to the website and register so that they can go through the process. And we've found that often if they do the work themselves, then they're more liable to show up. One more in here today. Hey Donnie, when leaving a voicemail, you only left a name and number. Is that typical for you to only leave information or to add value to leave a why? Yeah, what I've found over the years, Cassandra, is that by just leaving my name and number, I get a higher likelihood that they'll call me back. Sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's them wanting more information. Usually, when people go beyond that, they almost unintentionally start pitching, and they'll won't get the callbacks. So I've just learned to, and I will sometimes go a little bit further with it, where I will hang up in the middle of my voicemail, just so it sounds like the call drops. Uh, Once again, the goal of the voicemail is to just get a call back, and have that conversation. And when they do call back, play dumb. What I mean by play dumb is pattern interrupt the process, because they'll call me back, and I wish one would do it because I would just do it live. But when they call back, answer the phone and say hello, and they'll say, "Yeah, you left me a voice message," and I said, "Oh, who is this?" And they'll say whatever, Bob Smith or whatever. And I say, oh, hey, Bob, my name's Donnie Boivin, and I'm not sure if my name rings a bell at all. And it starts the whole process back over to where they're leaning into me. I hope that makes sense. But as Sean said, he does it all the time, and it does work very, very, very well. And I've even got where I've left my name and number, and people have texted me back. And I've got a gentleman out on the East Coast, I think in North Carolina, that we're texting back and forth about him visiting one of our networking groups.
Hello.
Hey, Russ, Donnie Boivin.
Hello. What's happening?
My name ringing a bell at all?
No.
All right. Well, then that makes this a cold call. Okay, if I tell you what I'm calling about, not selling anything, or you want to go ahead and hang up?
No. What's up?
So I run a networking organization called Success Champion Networking, and we're coming into the New York area, and we're introducing ourselves to everybody. It's not traditional.
I am so busy right now. You have no idea.
What do you do?
Thank you.
Oh, you're plastic surgery. Ha. I saw Wellness Now and I thought it was just regular coach. That dude's a plastic surgeon. Thank you. So, all right. Well, I went through both the list on that chamber website, so I'll quit the dials for today. But I try and do this every Friday to make these calls so you guys can hear me do it, and hopefully it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to pick up the phone and do your dials out there. If you haven't checked out Champions 90, go to champions90.com. We're doing a 90-day, self-driven challenge that includes 45-minute walks, 45-minute podcasts, 30 minutes of doing cold outreach. So this is my cold outreach for the day, doing these cold calls. 30 minutes of hand-raising activities where you're putting out original content, original thoughts. So that could be social posting. It could be engaging on social media. It could be getting on stages. Could be getting on podcasts. Anywhere where you can put out original content or thought, and people can raise their hand and say, I'm interested in what you do. And then you write 200 words. So if you're following me on LinkedIn, you're following me on Facebook, every day you'll see a post from me. And so I go out in the mornings, 4:00 traditionally, 45-minute walk on the farm. I let the dogs go out and play in the pasture. I'll turn on a podcast and listen in the dark. So it helps me get really, really focused on the business and things I'm doing. And then I do these other activities. And so by the time 6:00 Central Time comes out, usually I'll have a post written on my thoughts and things about the day. So go to champions90.com, check it out. It's completely free. There's no cost. There's a couple of communities of people that are going through it. And you can even follow the hashtag Champions90 to see all the people that are taking up the challenge. So Cheryl, what you do in your consulting and coaching services, the more you come from the perspective of getting a meeting, the better off you'll be. So when you're cold calling, the goal of a cold call is to get to a meeting, get to a sales conversation. So, back when I was doing this, when I was doing sales training, my whole goal was to get invited into their company to have a further conversation, because over the phone, selling a very high ticket item thing, you're never going to sell it just in that call. So, and we sold, very, very expensive sales training and consulting. So, to do that kind of stuff, you got to get into their office so you can get a peek into their world. And so, if I were calling for business consulting, those type of services, I would start off the same way I've been doing these. Does my name sound familiar? And then I would go into, traditionally, I work with companies that have found a lot of success, are in a cool growth phase, and every once in a while wish they had somebody they could bounce ideas off of, wish they had somebody that they could ask specific questions of about their business. Would that be something worth having a further conversation about, and being okay if they don't lean into that moment? But that's how I would sell more business consulting services. I like to legitimately give them a chance to tell me no, because the people that are more likely to do business with you are going to lean into that moment in that conversation, because they've done this. They understand the picking up the phone and having the calls and doing the work and putting the time in. They get it. They don't like being cold called, but they are empathetic to the moment. So they'll usually give you a second of their time to have that conversation. So lean into that conversation and watch them lean back into you. And the biggest thing, stay a human being. Don't get all hyped up. Don't get all high energy on them. I remember a Brian Tracy conference was coming through when I was doing sales training, and this is real. The first salesman that called my company and got to me was this fucking high-end motivational speaker, high energy dude. He's like, "Hey, Donnie, freaking awesome. I'm so excited to tell you about this Brian Tracy conference." And I was like, "All right, dude, hold up, stop. I'm not interested. I'm out." Right. The About an hour later, a young lady called me, and she was so real. She's like, "Hey, probably not something you're interested in," which is a great pattern interrupt. "Probably not something you're interested in, but I'm working with the Brian Tracy team. We're bringing Brian, Bob Berg, and some other people into the Dallas area. And I wanted to know if you'd be up for the idea of having one of our other speakers come do a free training session with your company." And because she was so real and so honest and upfront, I invited her in. And then we turned around and we bought 20 tickets to their conference for all the sales team. So it's really to better and easier to become a human being is through this process. They'll lean in. So if I can be of any help or any service to you guys, feel free to send me a DM wherever you're watching this. I'm happy to serve and help any way I can. Love giving any sort of advice. And if you need it, freaking holler at me. I'm going to scoot out of here today, get the rest of the meeting kicked off and rocking and rolling. But appreciate you guys. Love you, mean it. See ya. Bye.